as to the approach, the build-up towards the declaration of martial law and the actual implementation of it and the enforcement of the military rule, is very different from what we are hearing. And for you know, for example, I mean, I hear it too, but of course it's a different, you come from a different perspective. What is the biggest fallacy that the young people now are being fed about the reasons behind and the actual events of martial law?
They claim that we killed a lot of people, and that's why when I was interviewed by someone some time ago, I challenged her. Name me one that we executed, what we killed other than Limseng.
What was the accusation? Was that the summarily
that
executed?
we had 70,000 persons arrested, which was not true. Maybe if they will include the people who violated curfew and the jaywalkers, maybe you can reach that number.
But anyone who was
people can go out at night, they can go out and fish, they can go out to farm, they can go out. They were free, in fact. Of course, if you are a member of the rebel group or a warlord or who violated a criminal law, you have to be arrested, whether you have martial law or not.
It sometimes, I'm mystified sometimes by the lack of understanding of the simple fact that if you attack the government, you attack the state needs to defend itself.
Of course.
And that's why fighting would break out. And that's
name me one person that was arrested because of political or religious belief during that period. None.
They were all for criminal acts.
Name me one person that was arrested simply because he criticized President Marcos. None.
But there were a lot of critics still very, very vociferous and very speaking out against him and his administration, even during the martial law, when the country was under martial law.
Jovi Salonga, for instance. Oh, he was involved in the Light the Fire movement and many others. There were very few were arrested, and they were released. They were inconvenienced for a while, but they were released. The late Pepe Jokno, he didn't want to be released. I told Pepe, just sign anything and just get out of here. I told him.
The first time I was put in jail was in Camp Crame, and because I refused to sign an endorsement for President Marcos to stay in power, they were circulating, petitions for people to sign, and I was told, if you sign this, you can immediately leave. So I said, no, I cannot sign that. So when Marcos called for elections for the Batasan Pambansa in 1984, I was under house arrest. And I wanted to run for the Batasan. I couldn't campaign. So what I did was I told my supporters, you gather in front of my house and I will deliver a speech at the last step of my house because I was forbidden to, go down from my house. And so that's how restrictive martial law was during this period.
Here I have a copy of Martial Law, Never Again, by Raisa Robles, which documents so many examples showing that it is not true, that no one was tortured, no one was arrested. I myself, simply for saying in open court, Marcos is a super subversive, I got jailed.
I was arrested twice. The first arrest, they wanted me to be a part of the showing the window of the smiling martial law. Kasama ko si Heidi Yorak, si Concepcion, si Joe Concepcion, no? Lahat yung mga kapitalista, yung mga smugglers, sama-sama kaming lahat, no? And we were all in Camp Crame. So they were trying to please us. So, ma'am, is there anything you need? Wala kaming napkins, kako. Takbo sila, lagay sila ng napkins, no? Tapos, anything more? I want to swim, ka naman ni Heidi Yorak. So, she was allowed to swim. So, smiling martial law yun. The second time was this thing, August, and I was already underground. You can't remain above ground if you want to you fight for democracy, you have to go underground. So I went underground, and that was it.
Sir, good morning. Sir, what do you think of the statement of former Senator Enrile saying na there was no arrest during the martial law regime?
That's his belief. He's entitled to it. But as far as the palace is concerned, there are decisions affirming that there were grave human rights violations committed during the Marcos regime. There's even a law in Congress which provides for compensation for victims of martial law.
Sir, do you see any hidden agenda on this effort of former Senators Enrile and Senator Bongbong Marcos to talk about it?
That's their business. That's nothing that's an issue that we have nothing to do with.
Because some of the some of the victims of the former regime is claiming na parang they are trying to twist the history.
I don't think they can twist history when there's a law and there are court decisions attesting to what happened, no, during martial law. If you remember, a couple of weeks back, we even had here in Malacanang as guests the members of the compensation board, no? And they still have last-minute problems to resolve on how to release all the compensation for the victims of martial law.